Gordan Chang is the author of The Coming Collapse of China. Gordan, it's always good to hear your insights, quite possibly some of the rarest that I've heard on the topic. What could Cuba have right now in terms of these eavesdropping stations?
Well, Cuba, despite its denial, hosted the Soviets at their Lourdes surveillance post, which I think was the largest or the second largest Soviet listening post outside the Soviet Union. And there have been reports, unconfirmed, but some of them do appear to be credible, that China has a listening post at Lourdes, at Bihukal, and Santiago de Cuba already. So, yeah, the Pentagon may say China's not establishing any new facilities, but somebody should be asking John Kirby and General Ryder, does China have listening personnel in Cuba now?
What do you expect is China's end game with this particular situation and all of the other dots that we can connect over what they have done just in recent weeks and months pertaining to spying on the U.S.?
Well, China for decades has had enormous resources devoted to spying on Americans. And, Cuba is a sovereign nation. So, there's a limited amount what we can do with regard to any new Chinese facilities or existing facilities on the island. I mean, we probably should be cutting diplomatic relations in that case. But the point here, Adrienne, is that China has so many resources that it uses on American soil. And we have had presidents, and not just Biden, going back decades, that have allowed China to use American soil to spy on Americans. We know what's going on, and we don't stop it. This is something that is on our soil, so this is our country. We don't have to put up with this.
Is there reason to believe this spy hub in Cuba could evolve into multiple locations? I mean, I'm thinking about where they could get away with this. Maybe Mexico, maybe parts of Central America. I wouldn't think that Canada would allow anything to happen like this.
Well, Canada is sometimes more friendly to China than it is to the United States. But no, I don't think Canada would go that far. But we do know of Chinese military installations, especially in Argentina and in Venezuela. In Argentina, they have a lot of satellite uplinks. And so therefore, there's a lot going on in this region. And we have not been paying attention. Some of the Chinese embassies in the Caribbean, for instance, are enormous. So, for instance, Jamaica. And the question is, what is China doing at those overly large facilities? We should know, but we have not been countering it. We Americans pay a lot of attention to other parts of the world. We don't pay very much attention to countries that are close to us.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to hear about all this happening right under our noses, and yet there have been some red flags. There have been people who've tried to warn us. The National Security Council's John Kirby saying that this report is inaccurate. Cuban authorities disputing it as well. So what do you say if you were to sit down with John Kirby and speak to him and have his ear? What would you tell him?
Well, I might not tell him anything. I just might ask a question. I'm going to ask him, why are you covering for communist China?
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.